Right, shoot the arm through, chest right on the side pad. Let's go. Back it up. And go. Good. Way to stay low in there. Good relationship, chest to thigh. I like it. Good job. One more time that way. Go. Ready? Down. That's it. Go. All right, now go ahead and cross over. More punch coming off the ball. Now that doesn't mean if your coach teaches you hand, you don't go back there and say, Coach Delaware said you're dumb. Your techniques don't work, and you got to answer to him, right? And I don't mean that. There's a lot of things that work, and I'll be the first guy to tell you that if you believe in something or your coach believes in something, and he's going to work hard to teach you that, and you practice it, it'll work, all right? But what we do, we prefer our shoulder skill, and we will form a surface, and you should understand that this surface really is your chest, all right? But we say right shoulder and left shoulder because it's easier for you for direction so that you know what side of the man's body we'd like you to slide your head, okay? So that the first thing is we always use our nose, all right, as an aiming point. It's like the tip of the spear, but at the same time we'll never strike a blow, we'll never make contact with any part of our head. All right, that's why that seal's on the helmet. Football's been around long enough to know that some poor techniques can cause some people a lot of misery for the rest of their life in terms of paralysis and death. I mean, those things are fortunately very small percentages of the game of football. And as long as intelligent coaches teach the right thing, they'll remain, just bad luck. Just very, very, very chance happening. So you never strike a blow with your face. You never think of your helmet as being a way to break somebody else's ribs. It's there to protect you from contact. Right? So when I say I use my nose as an aiming point, I will. But before contact is made, I'm going to slide the hand. You place it on your right side of your chest and your elbow straight out. Now, the reason why this is a good position is this is as wide as I can be for what God made it. All right? Because if you notice, if my elbow's not straight out, what happens to my whip? Right there, elbow straight out. Back of the arm fell out of the ground. You can say it a couple different ways, but this is the surface right here, as big as I can do. So that now I'll slide my head away from the surface that I'm asking for. So if I say it's a right shoulder block, I'll actually turn my head slightly. It's not a turn. I don't want to give you that impression. You're going to slide it and point your eyes right to the sky. You're always going to try to look into the eyes of the man you're blocking. I mean, it's an exaggeration, right? It's not an exaggeration for me just asking for it. I mean, you are going to exaggerate the extension of your neck so that you're up here and you're going to be able to squeeze with your cheekbone and your shoulder. I'm going to get a dummy here and show you. One dummy, and we're going to get on our knees so we take our legs out of this so you can just concentrate on the surface. We'll be on fours, and I'm going to say move. All right? When I say move, you're going to form a right surface like I've just showed you. You can use your left hand for balance, and you're going to form that surface, and you're here. Now, to finish the surface, hold your dummy up. All right? To finish the surface, you're going to slightly hyperextend your hips, and your face goes up, and you're going to squeeze this guy between your cheekbone and your shoulder that you're forming your surface with. All right? And when you get into a block, later on, when you come off the ball and you get into a block, that's how you're going to maintain the block. This is legal holding. All right? You know you can't reach out and grab a guy, you'll get flagged for that. But the way that you maintain a block and you allow your body to stay on a defensive player that you're moving with your feet is that you will actually squeeze him. With your face position being correct, pinch in between your cheekbone and his shoulder, and your shoulder. And that takes the pressure off your legs of having to carry your weight while your legs are trying to drive a man as big or bigger than you. So we're going to put you in a position shortly where we only ask your legs to do one thing, and that's move the man you're trying to block. Okay? So that's the drill. Again, very quickly, we're going to get 2 men for 1 dummy. We're up here, nose on the dummy. I say right shoulder block, move. You're just going to move into it nice and slow so you get this surface and you get this feel. We're going to check you out. Technique by steps. Learn the surface now. You have an idea what we want. We slowed it down in terms of a move situation so you can concentrate. Hand to fist, elbow straight out, face up and squeeze with the cheekbone, hips slightly hyperextended. You have the time to do that. So now we want to drill this thing faster so that this has to become a habit for you. So you don't think about it. It just becomes great just every time you do it. But these techniques, again, as I said before, will accentuate your ability so that you can play bigger than you are and more powerful than you are. All right? It multiplies your abilities. So here's what we do now. The next thing is to hit this thing as hard as we can and hold, and you still stay on your knees, so that you're going to get a feel for how your hips come into this action forcibly and how big your forearm wants to be so you can create movement and momentum on the defensive player you're trying to block. So here's what we're going to do. We say set hit, so your nose goes on the bag. When I say set hit, or your coaches say set hit, you rock back slightly and you start the forearm by putting that hand and forming your fist behind your right back pocket. So it's a full range of motion movement because full range creates more power. All right? So you're here, I say set hit, you're going to be here. All right? And then as you go through to unload your surface, from here, now you just throw your chest right into this thing. You form your surface and you just throw your chest right through the man. So that you're here, boom, all right? And you create a total body movement by staying on your knees. Don't come up and do this because what happens? See how my fanny sticks out? See that? That takes away from your power. You'll play smaller than you are if you don't get your hips in line with your knees and your shoulders in this drill. So again, you're here. I say set hit, boom. All right, just drive that chest and that forearm, boom, right through that man. All right? And if you don't take anything from this camp except one thing, we're going to learn how to throw your body at that man and strike a blow with quickness and power. All right? Hustle better, even more, Frank. You can do better than that. Get that elbow straight.
Switch it up, go left shoulder. Here we go. Walk back on those hips. Here's something. Walk back slightly. Right shoulder first. Right shoulder first.
Surface off. All right? What we like to do is we call it a 3 quick shot explosion, where you're going to repeat what you did this one time, you're going to do it 3 times. And it's going to be on your own timing. So that I'm going to say set hit, or the coaches are going to say set hit, and they're going to go slow enough so that you can use a good forearm delivery, big forearm, snap your hips into the block, get your face up and squeeze. When you've completed the block, you snap back on your own. When the coach has seen that just about everybody's back, he won't sit there and wait for you. He'll send you again. He'll say set hit. As soon as you hear him, you pop it again. And we'll do that a 3rd time. Now, why would we do this? The reason is that we're going to go fast enough so, again, that you don't have all the time that you need to think about this stuff. We're going to try to create habits, good habits, all right? So that if it is a good habit, it's something you won't have to think about, right? Okay, so that's what we're going to try to do. So the timing of it is for that. The other thing that 3 shots does is it's going to give you a feel or rhythm in your hips and your whole body. And it's going to give you a feeling of how your body uncoils and should feel when you unload properly to strike a defensive player with your body. So in an assimilated situation, the coach says, set hit, you come back, strike the blow, get through there as hard as you can. When you're done, you snap back. Set hit, boom. You snap back on your own again, set hit, boom. You'll do it 3 times, all right? So the timing of it will be just about like this. Set hit, set hit, set hit, all right? So again, you'll have enough time to do it right, but not enough time to think about it all the way. All right, please. Couple things to finish off the first night here with the forearm. You should understand, I just told one of the young men over there, you can't accomplish anything by trying to spin into the man you're blocking. All right, a forearm delivery, you should understand, is not like throwing a punch. It's a lifting motion, all right? And I say lifting because we all on the sport of football are governed by leverage. Very simply put, leverage is if you're lower than the man you're trying to block, you'll win the battle. That will probably be the most important thing. The height of your block and the quickness of the foot movement are the most important things in moving a defensive player, regardless how much bigger or how much smaller he is than you. Right? So if you think about the form as being a lifting motion, you have to get underneath the guy before you can lift him. But it is a lift. When you throw that thing, it is a lifting motion. Okay? So think of it that way when we drill this thing on the back. By body position and height to block. We're going to get you on your feet. Now we got to get, like I said, feet are some of the most, or one of the 2 most important things in keeping movement with a defensive man. So I want to do a drill. We call it a quick foot drill. And I'm going to set your body up on me. I'm going to support you so that I can get the look that I want. So you begin to get a feel for what your body should feel like and a mental picture of what your body should look like when you're